Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at the Lenovo Legion 5i Pro Gen 6 gaming laptop. Now, this is actually the first Intel-based Legion that I'll be reviewing here in 2021, and this is far more budget-friendly. The price should be somewhere around $1,500 for the specific build that Lenovo sent over for review. So without further ado, let's get this thing out of the box and take a look at what they sent. Now, in terms of internals, we've got Intel's 11th Gen Core i7, the 11800H 8-core CPU, which is nothing new in terms of what I'll be reviewing. I have seen a few machines now with that CPU, and it is a solid performer. For those of you that were looking for an AMD build, I've pretty much covered all AMD machines so far this year from Lenovo, so I'm excited to finally have something that is a little bit different. 16 gigs of RAM and RTX 3050, so 4 gigs of dedicated VRAM for that, and that's part of the reason that this is more affordable. In terms of different configurations right now, they have several options. It seems like it's anywhere from the 3050 you're going to see here in my review up to a 3060. With that, you'll be getting a 300 watt power brick. Here we should be seeing a 230 watt brick, just because the 3050 doesn't need that much horsepower. Now, in terms of I/O, as usual, really nice. We have a privacy switch for the webcam, Type A USB port, ventilation. To the back of the machine, we've got pretty much everything you could want. Ethernet, Thunderbolt 4, 2 more Type A USB ports, HDMI out, another Type A port, and then, of course, the power port for charging. And then on the left side of the machine, yet another Thunderbolt port, as well as a headphone microphone combo jack. A lot of ventilation on the bottom, Phillips screws to remove if you want to open this up and upgrade it. I'm not sure if the 0.5 terabyte NVMe SSD that's in this machine is a Gen 4, but I'm going to presume that it is, because pretty much all the 11th Gen gaming laptops and workstations are sporting Gen 4. After all, that is one of the bragging rights of Intel's 11th generation that AMD simply doesn't support. Now, we do have an RGB keyboard, numerical keypad, and the star of the show in many ways with the Legion lineup is that 16-inch 2560 by 1600 res 500 nit IPS panel that is, of course, HDR capable, and it's got a fantastic refresh rate of 165 hertz. So really well balanced, I think. Great I/O. It's a fairly heavy machine, but it is a 16-inch gaming rig, and again, with this amount of I/O, there are some machines like that Main Gear Vector Pro that doesn't have anywhere near the I/O this machine has. Granted, it's actually lighter than it, and it's 17 inches, but still, you know, it's something to be aware of, that I do think Lenovo does a really nice job when it comes to the I/O they give this machine. So as I mentioned earlier, this is the 230 watt power brick. If you step up to the 3060, you'll be looking at a 300 watt brick, because that's simply what it takes to deliver the performance on the 3060 build. And overall, you know, webcam front and center. Again, I already know this keyboard, I know the touchpad, and it performs well. So it's going to be all about just having a machine based around an Intel CPU, which, you know, if you're going to compare the Ryzen 8-core processors, they are incredibly close. In some areas, the Ryzen, of course, outperforms. A lot of people will say battery life is one of those things, but in terms of software, whether we're talking about gaming, photo, video editing, rendering, most software, Intel still has a bit of an edge with a lot of software optimization, but we'll see how this machine runs. Again, far more budget friendly, and most importantly, in stock. Now, the base price on this line is around $1,400 US. This is direct from Lenovo, and I will include a link in the description if I can provide one. It may not be this exact build, because I don't know that this is actually available for sale, but last I looked, they've got an i5 with a 3050 starting at around $1,400. Then you step up to, you know, anywhere from, I think, $1,600 to nearly $1,800 for the 3060 builds. which, in terms of pricing and availability, with the way the market is these days, it's just incredibly hard to come across gaming laptops that you actually want to buy. So it's nice to see some more options in a market where we don't really have many these days. Things are in stock and gone the next day. And the display on the Legion 5i, just like many of the Legions that sport this 16-inch 165 hertz IPS panel, is really, again, the star of the show. And the I/O. The only thing missing from the I/O on this machine, in my opinion, is a card reader. I've said it before, I'll say it again. But otherwise, great build quality, a very good keyboard, good trackpad, fantastic screen. And then it's really just a matter, I think, of whether or not you're a fan of the styling of this machine, which I think is pretty subdued. I don't think it's in any way too ostentatious. It's not something that's going to scream for attention. So I feel like, it's, from a design language standpoint, pretty nice. And I do like that the majority of the I/O is at the back of the machine here and does become illuminated when active. But if, like me, you value having Thunderbolt connectivity, which I think is ideal for a machine that can game as well as is solid when it comes to content creation, this might be something you should be considering. Stay tuned for updates on performance and my final review. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. Hit that like button. And as usual, please feel free to subscribe. And please stay safe. Later.